Snowmageddon, more like snow big deal. We have the frosty details on Humber Snow Day.
Fashion television visits Humber, and we find out what's coming up on the runways and the racks. Humber News starts right now.
Hello, it's Thursday, February 3rd. Welcome to Humber News, coming at you from the Broadcast Center here at the North Campus. I'm Patrick Fowler. Thanks for joining us.
And I'm Emily English. Ahead on your show, we have all your news, sports, and entertainment highlights, as well as your 5-day weather forecast. But first, Patrick has our top story.
Students at Humber College are back to school today. Classes at the college and across the city were canceled in anticipation of yesterday's storm. Snowfall in Toronto only reached 13 to 17 centimeters, falling short of the 30 centimeters Environment Canada had forecast. Our reporter Jane Sponigal brings us reaction from Humber's North Campus.
Cars are back on the road and students are heading back to class here at Humber College after the first snow day in 3 years. Michael Hatton, Vice President Academic, is one of the people who made the call to cancel Wednesday's classes. He said the school uses a set of criteria to help make the decision, including personal safety.
The decision was made on Tuesday evening after the police indicated that they were strongly recommending that all non-essential travel be delayed because of personal safety.
David Griffin is responsible for snow removal at the North Campus. He says choosing to close was the right call and it helped in getting the campus ready for today's reopening.
There was a lot of drifting snow yesterday, so that complicates life. But because the snow decision was to close the college yesterday, it made actually clearing the snow easier for us.
The extra time may have made life easier for some Humber students too.
I was pretty happy about it, obviously. Had a test that day, got postponed a week, more time to study.
While the city may not have received the walloping it was expecting, the snow piles here at Humber College are still sky high and may continue to grow. Jane Sponigal, Humber News.
7 of the 48 TTC routes that were in danger of being cut because of low ridership are off the chopping block. The decision was made at a meeting yesterday, and the cuts will save the city $4 million. But a route that stops along Humber College Boulevard, the 96 Wilson, is still subject to change. That will come into effect in May. Changes to the route include service to Tandridge Crescent, ending at 10 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Also, service to Thistledown Boulevard and Tandridge Crescent will end at 7 p.m. on Sundays and holidays.
2 Canadian fashion icons are at Humber today. Fashion Television's Jeannie Becker and President and CEO of the Bay, Bonnie Brooks. Becker spoke with Brooks about the latest fashion trends and the state of retailers in Canada. Our reporter Arda Zakarian was there.
Humber fashion students got an exceptional treat today. World-renowned fashion expert Jeannie Becker sat down with President and CEO of the Bay, Bonnie Brooks, for an exclusive chat about fashion marketing and their personal inspirations.
Level, but to be able to be here with Bonnie, who is not only a dear friend, but an incredible colleague and a great inspiration to me, and has been for many years, and I can explain that a little bit later. It's really special. I know there's so many kids out there that are just dying to hear what it's really like out there in the real world, and they have a lot of illusions that this is their chance to hear it from the horse's mouth.
Students listened intently to the advice the two shared. For many of them, being able to be a part of this experience was a once-in-a-lifetime event.
I loved all the advice I could get from 2 icons.
For many Humber fashion students, witnessing today's conversation between 2 Canadian fashion icons is definitely one that they will remember and one that they will take with them as they first step into their career. Arda Zakarian, Humber News.
Humber students got a chance to learn from a human instead of a book this week at an event at the North Campus called the Human Library. The Human Library gives students the chance to learn from volunteers with interesting lives. You can sign out a person for up to 30 minutes. One human book, an underground explorer, shared photos of Toronto's sewer system.
Sure, this is the second year that Humber's been doing the Human Library. The idea itself goes back about 10 years. The first human libraries were done in Denmark, and since then they've spread out all over the world. Many libraries are doing them now.
How old do you have to be before thinking about aging? According to one of the world's biggest companies, not old at all. Walmart's new line of anti-aging makeup is called Geo Girl, and it's made for 8 to 12-year-old girls. The line of cosmetics will be packaged in containers that fit in children's hands. Critics say marketing the makeup to preteen girls turns them into early consumers and may affect their body image. The cosmetics line will debut in the US this month.
When we come back, we'll have more news from around the country and the world. UA Smotella will have the sports news, and we'll have your weather forecast with Kristen Sampiris.
Although yesterday's storm wasn't what we were all expecting, it did leave behind quite a mess. Will this be the last of this winter's snowfall? We'll find out next in our weather update.
Will we see more of the white stuff? Now with your 5-day weather forecast, we go outside to Kristen Sampiris.
Snow day is over and it's back to school and work. Wyerton Willie says it's going to be an early spring this year, but below average seasonal temperatures and flurries throughout next week suggest quite the opposite. It's minus 13 degrees in Toronto. Let's take a look at our 5-day weather forecast. We'll be seeing some sun today, hopefully to melt some of the snow we got during our storm. Minus 7 through Friday with a mix of sun and cloud, and that cloud cover will continue over into Saturday and the chance of flurries with temperatures sitting at the freezing mark. Ending the weekend, we will continue to see some flurry activity with a high of minus 1. And starting off the work week, we'll see a few flurries and temperatures sitting at minus 3. That's all for your weather update. I'm Kristen Sampiris. Back to the newsroom.
Thanks, Kristen. Now moving on to national and international news. While Ontario may have had an easier time than expected, Eastern Canada got walloped by yesterday's storm. These home videos from Halifax show the 20 to 25 centimeters the city was hit with Wednesday, while other parts of the province got as much as 40 centimeters. Schools are closed again today in Halifax as the city digs out from the blizzard that shut down malls and canceled classes. Forecasters say it's going to be sunny in the area starting later today.
Industry Minister Tony Clement says the CRTC needs to rethink its usage-based billing decision, or the government will overturn it. The CRTC's decision allows telecom companies to introduce internet billing based on usage. This would implement a cap of 25 gigabytes a month and charges for each gigabyte over that limit for wholesale users. Experts say the ultimate problem is a lack of competition.
We're a relatively small market, geographically constrained, and so it's hard to have lots and lots of firms compete in that market and still make a decent profit.
Coincidentally, Clement made his announcement via Twitter.
Tensions continue to escalate through Egypt today as pro-government protesters clash with anti-government demonstrators. Tensions are turning more violent as protests enter their second week. President Hosni Mubarak's new prime minister has announced he'll investigate the chaos in Cairo's Tahrir Square, which many protesters are blaming on government thugs. Western journalists have been attacked, and some sources say reporters have also been detained. Experts say increasing tensions raise concern about stability in the region, specifically in Israel, whose 30-year peace treaty with Egypt could now be in jeopardy.
Several thousand people are temporarily homeless after Cyclone Yazi ravaged Australia's northeastern coast. Authorities say there are no confirmed deaths, but 2 men are reported missing after the Category 5 storm wreaked havoc on the state of Queensland. Today, several coastal communities are left cleaning up the damage of the storm that followed just weeks after regions to the north were hit by a devastating flood. The state of Queensland has endured almost $6 billion in damage since last November, not including the destruction from the cyclone.
And now with your sports headlines, here's UA Smotella.
The Humber men's basketball team is back in action tonight, looking to start a new winning streak after dropping their first game of the season 2 games ago. The Hawks will host the 9-5 Niagara Knights at the Humber Athletic Center. Guard Michael Achimpong says the Hawks need to come out hard against a tough opponent.
Tonight we have to pretty much come out more aggressive than Niagara. We know they are a team that is still seeking a good spot in the playoffs, so we have to come with the state of mind that we have to be ready and prepare for their firepowers.
Meanwhile, the 8-2 women's basketball squad tip-off against the 9-1 Niagara Knights team. Tip-off is at 6 p.m. In volleyball, Humber's undefeated women's team and the 12-1 men's squad will meet the Sheridan Bruins in Oakville tonight. Last night's scheduled game was cancelled due to other conditions. The 17-0 women's team will look to pull away in the standings tonight on the road. Now looking at pro sports, the Maple Leafs are back in action tonight, taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. At the Air Canada Centre, the Leafs look for back-to-back wins after beating the Florida Panthers on Tuesday, while the Hurricanes look to rebound from a loss to the Bruins. Puck drop is at 7 Eastern Time. Also in the NHL, 4 Canadian teams were in action last night. Johan Franzen scored 5 goals as the Red Wings beat the Senators 7-5. That is the first 5-goal game in the NHL since 2007. The Canadians beat the Panthers 3-2. Montreal backup goalie Alex Auld made 33 saves in the victory. The Canucks remain hot, beating the Coyotes 6-0. Roberto Luongo earned his 3rd shutout of the year, and the Canucks currently sit first in the NHL with 75 points. The Oilers also lost 3-1 to Los Angeles. And finally, the Raptors hit the hard court with the Hawks in Atlanta. And misery continued as the Dinos dropped their 13th straight game. Joe Johnson led the way for the Hawks with 37 points. The Raptors now sit 14th in the Eastern Conference with just 13 wins. The Raptors will have an opportunity to end the losing streak tomorrow as they host the Minnesota Timberwolves at the ACC. You are now up to date in the world of sports. I'm Uwais Motala.
Thanks, Uwais. After the break, we get our entertainment update from Bridget Truong.
Hello, I'm Bridget Trung, and this is your entertainment update. The movie version of Mordecai Richler's novel, Barney's Version, will be hoping to win the most hardware at this year's Genie Awards. It led the nominations list announced yesterday with a total of 11, including Best Picture. The film is a memoir of Barney Pronofsky's life with Paul Giamatti as the lead. The film takes the viewers through 4 decades of his colorful existence in the form of a tell-all book revealing his dirty secrets. The film's cast includes Canadian actress Rachel Lefebvre as Pronofsky's first wife, Minnie Driver as his second, Rosamund Pike as his third, Scott Speedman as his enemy and confidant, and last but not least, Dustin Hoffman as his father. Barney's Version is also a contender at this year's Academy Awards. Another film that has made the leap into international success with an Oscar nod of its own is Denis Villeneuve's Incendies. Falling closely behind Barney's Version, Incendies scored 10 Genie nominations. The film tells the story of twins Jean and Simon Marwan and their quest to uncover their late mother's war-ravaged past. Incendies was recently screened at Robert Redford's Sundance Film Festival, which Villeneuve says was a great opportunity. The Grammys will get some satisfaction as Mick Jagger will perform for the first time on February 13th. Jagger will have viewers under his thumb when he pays tribute to Grammy winner Solomon Burke. However, he won't stop with an adieu to Burke. He will also honor other musical figures who have passed away in the last year. Listen up, Humber Muggles. Britain's Film Academy is honoring the Harry Potter franchise with an award for outstanding British contribution to cinema. The first 7 installments of the film earned $5.4 billion worldwide, but I'm not sure what that exchange rate is in galleons. However, as the world continues to be charmed by a decade of wizardry, the 8th and final film, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, will be released this July. And finally, it was 52 years today that the music industry went quiet. A small plane piloted by 21-year-old Roger Peterson that was carrying Buddy Holly, Richie Valens, and the Big Bopper crashed in Clear Lake, Iowa while they were on tour. The cause of the crash was a combination of poor weather conditions and pilot error. The tragedy has been dubbed the day the music died and was made famous in Don McLean's classic song, American Pie. That's it for entertainment. Back to you in the studio.
That's all for Humber News for today. Gong Hei Fat Choi, which means Happy New Year in Chinese. Today is the start of the Year of the Rabbit. Thanks for joining us. I'm Patrick Fowler.
And I'm Emily English. Humber News is written and produced by journalism students at the North Campus.